Welcome to Austin, Texas, where Christian Bentley, the home driver driving for the home team, starts on pole from Cosmas and Spiker. Casper LeBeau, the points leader, starts fourth, and he's got teammate Ryan Burton alongside. Ash Cornwell starts sixth, Claire Loon, and Tommy Bennett, Antonio Ponte, and Juan Villalobos. Moises Lima starts 11th from Thomas Holtz and Ica World, then Star and another home driver, Nick Haymaker, down in 15th. Nora is 16th from Gabriella Barton and Magic. Then alongside him is the Red Bull driver of Sri Harishwar, Million Brulers, Drago and Exfernon. With an amazing half of the season done and dusted with the past 6, we've got 4 more races to go in the FG Series. All 5 lights go on. And we are underway for the Austin feature race, and it's a brilliant start from Cosmas, the most experienced driver on the field, drawing level with Trackhouse Racing's Christian Bentley as they come through the amazing rise coming through turn 1. Moises Lima, whoa! Oh, that's massive! Ica World is out of this race. That is one of the manners. That's Nora reversing back onto the track. The cautions have come out. Drago finds himself right in front of and staring at the 1 car, but coming out of turn 1, that was a brilliant pass by Cosmas to take the lead of this Austin feature race. Christian Bentley drops a second. Brilliant getaway for Casper LeBeau. He's made up positions now up into third, and Ash Cornwell made the pass on Ryan Burton. Casper LeBeau, the points leader and reigning series champion. And he's barely in front of his teammate in points, actually. He needs some good points runs. And a top 3 finish today would be a brilliant start of his title defense, really kicking into overdrive. As that's the 2 Chip Ganassi drivers going side by side. Haymaker drops back down to 15th where he started. Bentley's pulled a second and a half on Casper LeBeau, who has almost been passed by Spiker. Just about manages to defend from the 2311 driver. As we keep looking at map number 13. Just trying to hold on to hopes of another podium in this FG Series season as they round the final few corners. To begin lap 2 of 14, and it's at this point that I must remind you, the Formula E and Champ Car World Series fan boost polls are still active. Cosmas leading this race and is now out. Slides down the hill. Contact with Christian Bentley. Oh! And Casper LeBeau has just run into the back of the Power Motorsport driver. Bentley still leads. In fact, no, Bentley now leads. He's got a bit of damage. And for Casper LeBeau, that was really clumsy. He's got massive amounts of front wing damage. Half of that front wing you can see on that number 5 Goodhart car. Absolutely chomped up, spit out. Here we are in race 7 then, I guess, is the best way to put it, as we're back under the green flag. Exferno with the fastest opening sector. There goes Spiker making the pass on the points leader, who's going to have minimal downforce coming through that hairpin. Tommy's had enough, and he spun it with Ash Cornwell. Unbelievable. Both Trackhouse drivers finding themselves picked up in an incident that they weren't really a part of, but for Cornwell, it's come up a lot worse for that number 20. Far, far worse. He drops down to 18th. He's still in this race, thankfully. But we go green again, finally, here in Austin. And you know, for Casper LeBeau, despite that front wing damage, he's still running up in third. That's not too bad. Obviously, he'll have to make that pit stop basically at the end of this lap either way. So losing that position wasn't optimal as Claire Loon goes around the outside of the number 5. He's got his teammate right behind him in that 6 car. We go on to lap 3. Spiker dives down into pit lane as well. Christian Bentley, your race leader from Claire Loon, and Ryan Burton. We go on board with the man driving the number 10 car. Took his first ERL race win earlier this season. They round turn number 1. It's a 33-foot rise going through turn 1. That is unheard of. The only other place that has a similar rise through any of its corners is Vienna. Also Spielberg, but we don't exactly race at Spielberg anymore. Bentley leading this at 32% tire wear, so 3 laps likely the maximum for the Hankook soft compound tires. You can add another lap onto that for the hards. It's just wild to think that we've already had 2 DNFs in this race. But again, that's what you often get here in Austin. Bentley's just punched in the fastest second sector despite his Hankook soft compound tyres being as worn as they are. Burton responds with a 33.56, and a caution comes out! Whoa! Holtz and Starr both throw it back into the wall. And the cautions come out late into lap 3. Bentley, if he comes in, he'll maintain position. That's bad news for Casper LeBeau and for Spiker. This is a free pit stop for the Trackhouse 19, a free pit stop for the Goodhart's number 6, and a free pit stop for the Junior Motorsports number 9. We go back under the green flags here in Austin, Texas. The top 3 all come into the pits, but Bentley's the only one who can really capitalize. Ponte comes into the pits as well. Expect Brulers and Haymaker. No, Haymaker stays out. Chip Ganassi pulling into the pits. Magic then. So Nick Haymaker from 15th on the grid on lap 4. Now he will be second as Christian Bentley already came out of the pits and is 2 seconds off the road. And a caution again. That's Christian Bentley. Bentley with a power unit failure. Nick Haymaker is your race leader. Terrible luck for Team Trackhouse. Terrible, terrible luck for Trackhouse Racing today. They run 16th, and the other car that was leading for the vast majority of this race is now out. Casper LeBeau is now running up in 3rd. Nick Haymaker is still your leader, but Spiker, the Mexican driver, has the net race lead after all the pit stops are accounted for, which is very interesting because this is the United States and this is the border state. I don't know how the fans are gonna see this. Of course, a lot of Mexican fans in attendance. As there goes Casper LeBeau up into 2nd place. The Frenchman on an absolute tear throughout the ERL, leading the FG Series points. Top 3 in both Champ Car and Formula E. He's got wins in all 3 categories this season alone. I said this during the Formula E broadcast before, of course, he had his wreck with UK Ball and the Red Devil. He is on for one of the greatest seasons of ERL competition, as out of the race goes Magic into the wall as we begin lap 5. Casper LeBeau with the fastest lap, a 1:38.6. That will be a fastest lap point for him, as in comes Nick Haymaker. Soft compound tyres going on, luckily for him. No time penalties to be accounted for. The Barton comes in. Tommy's now got the fastest lap in 7th place. This is brilliant news for Goodhart Racing, though. They lead the points coming into this race. As it stands, they will be leading the points coming out of it. But across 5 laps, we've had, what is that, 6 retirements? That does tell me that this is likely going to be a race of attrition, which for a lot of fans, I understand, is definitely preferable compared to a strategic race like we saw in London. As there goes Ryan Burton with the lunge up into 3rd place. It's a 2-3 for Goodhart right now. Casper does not have attack mode. Burton does, so he'll be closing up. He'll be able to defend from Juan Villalobos, sorry. Makes the lunge to try and take 2nd away from Casper as well, and he makes the pass work. Brilliant stuff from the Venezuelan. The first Venezuelan driver in the ERL, the first Venezuelan to take a race win. Casper LeBeau in the 5 car drops back down to 4th as his teammate weaves in front of him to just tell him, look, this is my battle, my fight. But Casper doesn't want to listen to that. He's going to blast past both of them. Going round the outside of the Manor driver. Might come into the pits here. Here comes Burton with the lunge coming through the final corner. Gets in front of his teammate who comes into the pits with Juan Villalobos and Spiker. So Ryan Burton on lap 6 leads, but he's got Claire de Lune on his inside, and Claire de Lune takes the lead away from the Goodhart driver. Nora with the fastest lap in 9th place, make that 8th as he passes. Oh, caution comes out. That's Gabriella Bogton in the middle of the track. And facing backwards on lap 6 of 14. Full course cautions return as everyone who just came in is coming out of the pits. Ash Cornwell down in 16th. That will become 15th. Honestly, the number 20 has had quite possibly the least lucky season. In Germany, it looked as if he was going to have his first Champ Car World Series podium. In fact, his first podium in the ERL as a whole. And that just went away from him and became a DNF. What seemed to be a dream shifted into a nightmare for that man. Meanwhile, this is the fight for 9th, headed by Drago. That's a lunge from Spiker. Moving past the Power Motorsport driver, we go on board with Casper LeBeau. Trying to go alongside, trying to level with the Indian. Gets past him. He's going to get past the Mexican driver in front of him as well. That's going to be 9th place for the number 5. But he's got Tommy blowing down his inside and moving up into that 9th position. Casper sees him coming though and defends nicely. So that 5 car holding on to 9th. Brilliant stuff and textbook driving from all of them. They're on the hard tyres as well, which will take them quite a ways into this race. I expect about lap 10 of 14, so still another pit stop coming as that's close to the wall, close to the good hot car there for Tommy as we watch Casper LeBeau move up into 7th. Claire DeLune, your race leader, as he comes through turn 1. Million Brulas runs up in 2nd, the Italian driver. I'm sorry, driving for the Italian team, I believe. Ooh! Casper hits the wall again! Sorry, for the first time, his front wing flies over, and that's Cornwell hitting it. Cornwell dusting it off the track and getting a bit of front wing damage for good measure. And for Casper LeBeau, for the 2nd time in this race, finds himself with front wing damage while running in 3rd place. This has been a very scruffy race for the reigning series champion. Nora, is that... No, that's Spiker making the pass on Nora for 5th place. As now Moises Lima, the lone Envision Racing driver in this race, gets past the Manor as Tommy moves up into 3rd. Could that be 5th for Moises? You bet it is. He's closing up on Casper, but he can't make the lunge going through that sharp corner. We go on board with Ash Cornwell. The British driver looking for some luck here as Nora runs into the side of him and gets a 5-second time penalty for his troubles. Claire DeLune leads 7 seconds in front of Million Brulas. We expect to see him come into the pits as Brulas caught by his teammate. They're going to go side by side into the final corner. In comes Claire DeLune as Brulas dives down into pit lane. Tommy will become the race leader on lap 8. Casper LeBeau has come down into pit lane as well. Nora comes in as well, as here comes Spiker with the lunge on the race leader, and taking the race lead is Mexico's Spiker in the number 13. Absolutely fantastic racing from both of them, as there goes Tommy back up into the race lead. A very experienced driver in that number 11, the most experienced driver still in this race. The most experienced driver on the grid is Cosmas Medisas, who joined in Season 1 of Formula E. Tommy joined in Season 14. So 14 season gap between those two. But then everyone else around him is pretty much a rookie. I mean, Ica World joined in Season 16, I believe. So that's a difference, as there goes Burton up into 5th, and he's behind Ash Cornwell, in fact. Cornwell could be coming back here. You know, this race, very much a chaotic event, as most races here in Austin tend to be. As Burton looking to the outside, can't quite get past, as that was a big weave for Ash Cornwell, who holds it around the outside, coming through this long multi-apex corner, which switches back on you. It's mostly off camber. Lima holds 2nd, Burton holds 3rd. Cornwell moves up into 4th as we believe Spiker is coming in. Tommy still leading with 5 to go. Ryan Burton with the fastest lap. We go on board with the man in the number 6 car as he comes up through turn 1 with a lunge on the man in the 2 car. That's 2nd place for Ryan Burton, and that's a brilliant way to move up, as we've got some very much dark clouds as Nick Haymaker is out of this race. Backwards facing down at turn 1's exit. And another full course yellow here in Texas. Down to 14 runners still in this race. Both Goodharts, both Revolutions, both Manners still racing. And both 2311s as well. We're back under the green flags here in Austin, Texas. On board we were with Ryan Burson. He's going to get attack mode, heading down this long straight. Watch that rear wing open up. Heading down the straight. When the rear wing opens up, it's about a 5, 6, maybe even 10 kilometers per hour boost. Heading down into the braking point. Brilliant stuff if he can manage to get the car stopped in time, and that's not even a question. Ryan Burson now leads here in Austin, Texas. On board we are with Claire DeLune in the number 10 Junior Motorsports car, going side by side with Million Brulez. That's a major tyre differential there. 2 laps the difference, and that is quite a bit, because for Moises, that's 13% tyre wear. For Claire, 58. Moises definitely has to come in. 24% for Ash Cornwell, so we expect to see him down into pit lane quite soon. And if... oh yeah, Burton is coming in. I was going to say, if Burton comes in, it would be a bit of a waste of a good set of hards, but oh well. Claire DeLune now takes the lead on lap 10 of 14. We're getting to that point in the race where all the drivers decide it is go time, and it's time to give it everything, full beans throughout every corner. And that's when we see the majority of full course cautions in most ERL races. But we've already seen in the ACE Championship, and now as it's known as the FG Series, the ERL 01s, they're so old, the teams have so much experience, they can tell the drivers, yeah, this is how you're meant to take each and every corner. The ERL 02s, they're newer, they're faster, they're bigger, they're bulkier, it's a lot harder to control them. And that's what's given Season 22 of Formula E up until now that distinctive character. Yes, it did take a lot of the teams 20 seasons to fully comprehend the ERL 01s, so, you know. Villalobos trying to go around the outside of Million Brulez. You've seen wrecks happen down here before in Champ Car, but thankfully one takes second position without even rubbing wheels. This is a little bit of beating, banging, and roughing him up in these final 4 laps as one looking to the outside of Claire DeLune. He makes the pass work. Brilliant stuff from the Venezuelan driver as he begins lap 11 to take the lead in that fashion. Drago's going to move up into second here. He's got Casper LeBeau right behind him. We expect the top guys all to come into the pits at least one more time in this race, as long as they don't experience any more damage. Oh, almost into the wall there for the Indian. That's why I convulsed in my chair. But he still just about managed to get a hold of his Power Motorsport car. And it's just great to see his... oh! Ponte's hit the wall, and it's a rear puncture. Front wing damage and a rear puncture. That's one of the worst combinations you could have. He's going to drop to the very back of the pack now. He needs to come into the pits because he suffered that going through turn 1. That's why he went off as Nora runs into the back of him. Synchronized spin for both drivers. Front wing is flying off, and I think that's Ponte's other half of the front wing coming off as well. No front wing on that 2311 car. Yellow's still flying down in Sector 1. Ponte going to get passed by Nora, hopefully cleanly this time. There he goes. As Burton moves past his teammate. Now, what we hope happens is that Ponte comes in before the leaders catch up to him. However, considering that he's only just reached the hairpin in the second sector, I think it's very plausible that he gets caught by someone, but not by any of the leaders who are currently out there. And Casper LeBeau's been left out on lap 12. Goodhart Racing have brought in Ryan Burton instead of the number 5. That's the points leader, who has been told to stay out. Caution's flying in Sector 1. Who is that for? That's for Claire DeLune, who's got front wing damage now as they make their way coming out of turn number 1, Casper LeBeau moving through the S's. This is the part of the track that takes the most beating out of any compound of tyre that you're on. And for the man in the number 5 car, he hits 0 coming into the hairpin. Just about manages to get it stopped, but the rears have already gone. The fronts have gone. It's a full car puncture for the number 5. And it does look as if Antonio Ponte is going to be able to make it to pit lane in time. And for Casper, that is terrible news, because now he has another half of this lap to go before he can come down into pit lane. His race is already effectively over. He's looking at a P13 finish right now. And that's absolutely terrible. Coming through the final sector now, he's got his teammate coming up to him, hopefully coming past him cleanly, and he does pass him cleanly. Cornwell next man up to bat. And just, wow, these tyres have just blown up twice. One of them was due to poor tyre strategy, and that's for the Goodhart 5. The other one for Antonio Ponte, who comes out of the pits now as we begin the penultimate lap. That was spontaneous. Million Brulers with the fastest lap of 1:19.4. Compare that to the opening final fastest laps. It's into the wall there for Claire de Lune. Got that car off of the advertising board as in comes that number 5. And for Casper, the best hope he's got right now is going for the fastest lap. As the cautions come out, Sri Harishwar is out. Just slid across and into the SPM barriers. Moises Lima low on tyres as well. I think we can say that for the top 3 in general. They have another stop to make. The question is, will they make it? And now, for Casper LeBeau, he's got one. The only thing he can do to try and hold off anyone else getting any more points than he would want is to try and go for the fastest lap. He can hope for 2 DNFs to get him into 10th. But the fastest lap attempt is what's really going to get them. That's Villalobos trying to close up to Million Brulers. Brulers is yet to win in the ERL. He's at 32% tyre wear on those softs. His teammate leads this race on 16% on the mediums, 5% for both Exferno and Moises Lima. They need to pit, and if they don't, they'll have a punctures to begin the final lap. Rounding the final corners, Drago gets a time penalty for colliding with the back of Claire de Lune. And as we begin the final lap of this race, Tommy stays out. Moises Lima stays out. Exferno stays out. Exferno's hit 0, in fact, coming up the hill. There it goes for the Envision driver, for the Impol driver. They've both been passed. That's into the wall there for Million Brulers. Is that? No, that's Antonio Ponte. Who hit the wall? But we know who's hit the Envision. That's Million Brulers into the back of Moises Lima. He's chasing after Juan Villalobos, who's on course for his 2nd race win in the ERL FG Series. As the cautions come out, Spiker is out of this race. Full course caution on the final lap. 2311's driver is out. And as it stands, Casper LeBeau is actually going to get a point. A point. I don't think that'll be enough to stop what's happening for one. As punctures there for the number 11 Revolution Racing car. Full car puncture for Tommy. 11% for Million Brulers. We've seen already that will take him to the very end of this race. Here we go. We're back to green as race leader Tommy takes us through Sector 3 at some of the slowest speeds we've seen all weekend long. Juan Villalobos is closing up to the Hong Kong driver. He's going to see him quite soon. In fact, there he is. There is the Revolution Racing man. He just needs to pass him cleanly, and he does it. He runs into the back of him. Oh no! 5-second time penalty for Juan Villalobos as he hits and takes out Million Brulers. 2 cars out. Tommy still leads this race. Ash Cornwell can win this. Ryan Burson has a 5-second time penalty. And Tommy is out. Cornwell, after he was hit on lap 1, comes back, finds luck, and leads with a few corners to go. 3 DNFs in 1 incident here in Austin, Texas. And the benefactor of it all, as we get back to green, is Ash Cornwell, who can finally say he is an ERL race winner. Cornwell wins the FG Series feature in Austin. Unbelievable! There goes Burson up into the podium paying positions. Caught, and Casper LeBeau is going to try and get that. There's the line for Nora. Brilliant stuff to the line. A duel to the line for third. That was an amazing final lap. Absolutely fantastic. 8 finishes here in Austin. Here is your podium. Ash Cornwell is finally an ERL race winner. Took it from out of nowhere. And you can't say it was an easy race win for him. Drago coming from 21st on the grid to 2nd by the checkered flag, and Casper LeBeau had a very topsy-turvy race. Comes home to finish in 3rd. As for the rest of your finishes, Nora was 4th from Ryan Burton and Moises Lima. Then it's Claire Loyne and Exferno, with the non-finishers being Brules, Villalobos, Tommy, Spiker, Ponce, Sri Harishwar, Nick Haymaker, Gabriella Barton, Magic, Bentley, Holt, Star, Medicis, and World. So in the driver's standings, Casper LeBeau, he leads on 70 points. He's 10 points up on Ash Cornwell, who's only 1 point up on Ryan Burton. I think we now have our real title protagonists heading into the final 3 races, races 8, 9, and 10. Antonio Ponce, 4th from Thomas Holtz and 1 Villalobos. Then it's Nora, Spiker, Tommy, Claire DeLune, Moises Lima, Exferno, Christian Bentley, Ica World, Drago, Star, Gabriella Barton, Sri Harishwar, Million Brules, Cosmas Medicis, Magic, and Nick Haymaker. So in the constructors standings heading into the 8th round of the championship, Goodhart Racing, while they lead 40 points up on 2311 Racing, who are tied on points with Trackhouse. Then it's Manor Motorsport, Team Impul with 5th from Envision, and a tie for 7th between Junior Motorsports and Revolution Racing. Red Bull Racing are 9th, 1 point up on Power Motorsport, with Chip Ganassi well and truly in 11th place and last. Finally, Ash Cornwell can say he's won. That is some brilliant retribution for what happened in Germany in the Champ Car World Series, which will come up right next. But remember, you can vote for any of the Champ Car and Formula E drivers to get an extra boost in the final 3 races of their seasons as we enter the final 3 races of the FG Series season. So from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport and Sparkplug Motorsport 2 now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.